Hello and welcome to ICANN Media. I'm your host, Rob Hislop. We're, of course, coming to you this week from the Global Petroleum Show in Calgary. Canada is the country most represented here at the show, which makes sense because it's in Calgary. The second most represented country is the United States. Lots of exhibitors. A lot of people came up here from the lower 48 to show off their equipment. And earlier, the governor of Montana, Steve Bullock, had a chance to open up the U.S. pavilion, and he joins us right now after that. Steve, perhaps you can tell us about the importance of the United States being represented here.
Absolutely. And, we have 23 different states with companies, 80 different companies inside the tent, over 400 actually sort of in the greater area. And it really is, the petroleum industry and oil and gas and the opportunities, not just for Montana, but the entire, our country as well as yours. We are kind of at that pivotal time where we are actually getting to the point of energy independence. And for a state like mine where we have incredible advanced manufacturing, we provide incredible services, it's important that we're represented here.
Have you been up to this show before yourself?
I've not actually ever been up to the show, and it's quite something to see for sure.
It's huge, isn't it?
It really, really is.
So when you look at our oil sands, and of course the dependence that we have on the United States as far as exporting it, and yours on importing our oil, your thoughts on the oil sands right now and all the controversy surrounding them?
Well, I've actually been up to Fort McMurray too and toured the oil sands a little over a year ago. In fact, my first foreign trip that I took was to Canada, by and large because of about over a third of what we export goes to the country of Canada. When it comes to the Keystone XL pipeline, came out a long time ago saying that done right, we need to get this done. And from my perspective, it's not just a national perspective, it's a parochial perspective in as much as that the proposal would actually have an on-ramp in Baker, Montana for the Bakken where we could put about 100,000 barrels a day.
Do you think one of the things is you've got very, diametrically opposed sides on this one, people coming out. Is the right information getting out there? Because, we hear your president say that we're not going to be a conduit for Canada to get to other markets, and other people saying that. Because I don't think that that's what it is. The Americans still benefit from this pipeline going through.
Well, I think in any contentious issue, there's often a lot of both misinformation and sort of polemical views. But from my perspective, and look, as the governor of a state that also completely relies on tourism, we have a state of 1 million people, we have over 11 million that visit each year. As a father of young people, I do think that there is climate change. I think that it is human caused. And even if you don't, the markets do sufficiently now that, and that impacts the overall. But I think in some respects, the Keystone got caught up in that greater discussion as opposed to saying, look, is this something where, I know even in the Bakken right now, I have 500,000 barrels of oil by train being transported each and every day. The Keystone doesn't carry a heck of a lot more than that in total. So it's something that I am still hopeful that done right, it could make a significant difference.
You talk about the bigger picture when it comes to the pipeline and climate as well. There are groups in the United States, and I'm thinking of the Tides Foundation and other groups that are almost seem to be actively going after the oil sands. How does that impact you when you look at something like that? Because they're supporting our groups up here, various groups, environmental groups, to try and go after the oil sands. You're obviously not against the oil sands.
No, I'm not. And as far as specific groups, there's always going to be the specific groups on all sides. That's what we do, certainly, in this realm of public policy, and hopefully, ultimately, the right thing gets done.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much.